For decades, humanity's signal had drifted through the vast silence of space. A simple beacon cast out like a message in a bottle. It was not a call for help, nor a declaration of conquest, but a gesture born from curiosity and hope, an invitation. Two unknown neighbors to meet and share in the universe's mysteries. On Earth, the project was modest at first. Scientists and engineers pooled their resources to create a steady stream of encoded pulses, broadcasting a pattern of mathematics, music, and images designed to show who humans were, what they had achieved, and the world they called home. The message passed from radio antennas to the empty dark, traveling light years with quiet determination. Meanwhile, in a distant star system, the signal was received. It arrived in the halls of an ancient, technologically advanced Civilization I, whose own understanding of the cosmos was far beyond humanity's. The signal sparked debate. What kind of beings sent such a call? Was this a naive outreach or a subtle warning? The aliens had never encountered a species quite like this. At first, their leaders debated caution. Their history was written in conquests and alliances, in the expansion of empires across galaxies. But this signal, unlike others they had intercepted, carried something unfamiliar, a mixture of warmth and challenge. It hinted at a species that might not be easily subdued. Back on Earth, the signal's response was silent for years. The scientists grew anxious, but the signal had to cross unimaginable distances. Patience was their only option. Then, suddenly, everything changed. On a cold morning, a faint blip appeared on deep space monitoring, a razor reply. Humanity's heart raced as data poured in. The aliens were coming. Governments convened in emergency sessions. Military forces went on high alert. But amid the growing tension, there was a flicker of pride. For all their fears, Earth had finally been noticed. Humans had reached out, and the universe had answered as the alien ship slipped through the solar system's edge. It was not met with open arms, but with preparation. Earth's orbital defenses came alive. Satellites shifted into battle formations, and fleets moved into position. Earth was ready not with fear, but with fierce resolve. The alien ship's appearance was unlike anything humanity had imagined. Sleek, massive, and humming with silent energy, it radiated power and mystery. Alien emissaries broadcast attempts to communicate, but their strange words echoed across frequencies. Unintelligible and cold, humanity responded in kind, with open gestures, but with signals of their own, warnings that Earth would not be taken lightly. Space stations flickered with defensive codes. Then the quiet whispers of military plans spread through command centers in the alien ship's shadow. Tension tightened like a drawn bow. Both sides understood this was the beginning of something greater, a test of wills. A meeting not just of species, but of the very nature of survival. And deep in the command bridge of the alien vessel, questions churned. Who were these humans? Who sent a beacon of peace, but prepared for war? What secrets did they hide behind their steely eyes and guarded signals? For humanity, the answer was simple. They were waiting with a loaded gun, ready to defend their world and their future. No matter the cost. The massive alien ship hung silently near the outskirts of the solar system, its dark hull reflecting distant starlight. From Earth's vantage point, it was an ominous presence, both magnificent and intimidating. But humanity was no longer the naive species sending hopeful signals into the void. Now, it was a species ready to face whatever came through the stars. On Earth, the arrival triggered a wave of controlled chaos. Military command centers buzzed with activity as satellites and space stations shifted into tactical formations. Fleets of orbital fighters scrambled into position, their pilots trained and alert. Scientists worked feverishly to decode the alien messages, hoping to find a way to communicate before conflict erupted. The alien emissaries, housed deep within their ship's translucent command chamber, transmitted messages on frequencies that challenged human instruments. Their language was complex, layered with tones and frequencies that twisted the mind attempting to interpret them. Every attempt at translation revealed hints of diplomacy, but also clear boundaries territory they would not easily relinquish. Back on Earth, the leadership faced a dilemma. Was the alien arrival an opportunity for peace or the prelude to invasion? The answer remained elusive. But humanity's military planners prepared for the worst to test Earth's defenses. The aliens dispatched small reconnaissance, drone-sleek, nearly invisible devices that slipped past detection systems. These machines probed Earth's orbit, gathering data on weapons, communications, and tactical responses. Each incursion was met swiftly. Human defense systems reacted with calculated precision. Neutralizing drones before they could retreat, the aliens watched with growing surprise. This species, so young and limited in experience by Galactic standards, displayed a tactical discipline and rapid adaptability they had never expected. Humanity's response wasn't just raw firepower, to a strategy infused with unyielding resolve. Orbital fighters executed complex maneuvers, combining traditional dogfighting with electronic warfare. Earth's weapon systems, though technologically inferior in some respects, leveraged creative tactics, including jamming, decoys, and synchronized counterattacks. In one tense encounter, a squadron of human pilots engaged an alien drone swarm. Near geostationary orbit, the humans, flying in tight formation, used a combination of precise missile strikes and electromagnetic pulses to disable the swarm, forcing the aliens to withdraw and reassess. Deep within the alien ship, commanders exchanged uneasy glances. Their mission had been to explore and establish contact, to assess the possibility of trade or alliance. Yet every probe met resistance. The humans, it seemed, were not only ready, they were eager to defend their world. On Earth, news filtered down to the public in carefully controlled bursts. Officials assured civilians that the situation was under control, but urged vigilance. The world watched as the space above grew tense. The silence between stars, pregnant with uncertainty. Among the human defenders, a sense of pride and unity grew. They were no longer just inhabitants of a fragile blue planet. They were guardians, standing firm in the face of the unknown. The aliens, confronted with humanity's tenacity and readiness, found their assumptions challenged. This was not a species to be easily subdued or ignored. As the sun set over Earth's cities, satellites and warships traced silent patrols in orbit. The signal that had brought the aliens here was now a spark, lighting a fire, warning that humanity was waiting, loaded and unyielding. Tensions escalated as the alien ship drew closer to Earth's inner orbit, its presence impossible to ignore. Despite repeated efforts at communication, the alien language remained a puzzle. Their messages tinged with both curiosity and unspoken threats. Earth's leaders convened daily, weighing options that balanced hope for peace against the grim reality of war. On the ground, civilians felt the pulse of impending conflict. Cities buzzed with activity, not just in military bases, but in everyday life. Engineers hurried to retrofit satellites. Scientists accelerated weapons research, and ordinary people prepared for whatever might come. Humanity's spirit, tested through centuries of struggle, began to burn brighter in the face of the unknown. Above, Earth's orbital defense fleet was a blend of old and new sleek human warships, alongside retrofitted commercial vessels equipped with cutting-edge weaponry. Each ship was a testament to human ingenuity, crafted with a fierce determination to protect their home. The alien vessel, a dark monolith against the stars, unleashed a wave of probes, fast, silent, and almost invisible. These probes infiltrated Earth's defense grid, seeking vulnerabilities. But humanity's response was swift and creative. Pilots flew unpredictable patterns, drawing the probes into traps where electromagnetic nets disabled them without unnecessary destruction. Captain Elena Vasquez, commander of the frigate Argus, led one such mission. She was young, quick-witted, and fiercely protective of her crew. In the briefing room, she reminded her pilots, "They think we're inexperienced. We'll show them why they're wrong. Adapt and survive." That's who we are. Her squadron moved out, weaving through debris fields and radiation storms, tracking the alien probes. The battle was as much a dance as a war maneuvers calculated to confuse and outsmart. The probes, designed for precision, found themselves outmatched by human unpredictability. At the same time, deep inside the alien ship, debate raged. Their commanders struggled to understand humanity's defiance. "Why do they fight so fiercely when they have so little?" one asked. Another replied, "Because they fight not just for survival, but for something we Lacanchicable will back." On Earth, the public learned of Captain Vasquez's success. Her squadron's victory was celebrated not just as a military win, but as a symbol of human resilience. It reminded everyone that humanity's greatest weapon was its spirit of force. No technology could replicate, but the conflict was far from over. The alien commanders recalibrated, preparing for a new phase of their mission. They sent emissaries to Earth, messages laden with cautious offers and veiled warnings. Humanity's response was firm. No surrender. No compromise on sovereignty. In a tense exchange, Earth's diplomats made clear that any aggression would be met with decisive force. The aliens, for the first time, realized they faced a species not willing to be subdued or negotiated into submission. Captain Vasquez's Argus returned to orbit battered but victorious. Its crew hailed as heroes. Yet she knew the real challenge was ahead. The alien ship remained a looming threat, its intentions unclear, its power vast. Amid the stars, two civilizations stood on the brink, riven by centuries of dominance, the other by a fierce determination to protect their fragile world. Neither would yield easily, and as Earth's satellites kept watch, silent and vigilant, the war for survival was only beginning. Days blurred into nights as the alien ship settled into a slow, deliberate orbit around Earth. The world held its breath. Every eye turned skyward, every sensor trained on the silent intruder. But beneath the surface of this uneasy calm, years of war turned with relentless momentum. Captain Elena Vasquez sat in the command center of the Argus, staring at the flickering displays that tracked alien activity. The victories so far had been tactical skirmishes, probe interceptions, but the larger picture was far more daunting. The alien ship was no ordinary vessel. Its technology bent known physics, wielding power humanity barely understood. And it was adapting. Learning from every encounter, the intelligence teams worked around the clock to decode the alien transmissions. Layers of complex algorithms intertwined with strange symbols and rhythms suggested the presence of an advanced artificial intelligence directing the vessel's actions. This AI was not merely a machine, but a consciousness calculated, ruthless, and adaptive. On Earth, political leaders debated their next move. Should they attempt to open diplomatic channels once more, or prepare for a preemptive strike? Military favored readiness for battle, but many hoped the aliens could be reasoned with. The message humanity sent had been one of curiosity and peace, yet it had been met with suspicion and force. One night, the alien ship emitted a pulse unlike any before, a sudden surge of electromagnetic energy that disabled several communication satellites and temporarily blinded orbital sensors. Earth's defense systems scrambled, but the hit was a stark reminder. The aliens possessed offensive capabilities that could cripple humanity's technological edge. In the aftermath, the global population reacted with a mixture of fear and determination. Leaders assured their people that this was a test, that humanity's strength lay not just in weapons, but in unity and resolve. Captain Vasquez received orders to lead a strike team aimed at disabling the alien ship's external sensor arrays and attempt to blind it and gain the upper hand. The mission was perilous. The alien ship's defenses were formidable, and its AI seemed to predict human tactics before they were even executed. Vasquez gathered her crew, speaking with a calm that belied the tension. "We're fighting for every inch of this planet. For our families, our future. They may be advanced, but they lack one thing: our will to survive. Let's show them what that means." The Argus and its squadron slipped through space, moving under the cover of Earth's shadow to avoid detection. The mission unfolded with precise coordination, human pilots weaving through energy fields and laser fire. They struck quickly, deploying electromagnetic charges that temporarily disrupted the alien ship's sensors. But the victory was short-lived. The alien AI responded with a sudden counterattack, unleashing a wave of energy that damaged several human vessels and forced a rapid retreat. Back on Earth, the loss stung, but it also galvanized resolve. Humanity's leaders realized that this was no longer a battle of technology alone. It was a war of wills, where creativity, courage, and sacrifice would determine the outcome. As the alien ship hovered over Earth's night side, its AI processed the unexpected resistance. It began to reassess its assumptions about humanity, a species it had underestimated. And on the Argus, Captain Vasquez stared out into the stars, knowing that this war was far from over, that humanity's true test was just beginning. The days after the failed sensor strike mission were tense. Damage repairs on the Argus were underway, but the crew's spirits were tempered by the stark reality. The alien ship's AI was evolving rapidly, learning from every engagement and anticipating human strategies with alarming accuracy. Captain Elena Vasquez knew this war demanded more than courage. It demanded innovation. Back on Earth, scientists worked feverishly to devise new technologies and tactics. Among them was Dr. Amir Patel, a brilliant cyberneticist whose breakthrough ideas offered a sliver of hope. His team developed a prototype, a neural disruptor designed to interfere with the alien AI's adaptive algorithms, scrambling its decision-making processes and potentially opening a window for a decisive strike. The disruptor was untested and risky, but with the alien ship tightening its grip on Earth's orbit, humanity had little choice. The plan was clear. Vasquez and her crew would deploy the disruptor directly within the alien vessel's sensor array hub, targeting the AI's neural core. As preparations began, the crew trained relentlessly. Every maneuver, every contingency was drilled to perfection. The mission was more than a battle. It was a gamble on humanity's future. When the moment came, the Argus slipped once again through the shadowed void, this time carrying the fragile hope of a weapon designed to confuse an enemy far beyond their understanding. The neural disruptor was loaded into a specialized pod, engineered to breach the alien ship's defenses and deliver its payload with precision. Approaching the monolithic vessel, the tension aboard the Argus was palpable. The alien A's presence seemed to press against the hull itself, an unseen force probing for weaknesses. Vasquez steadied her voice. "Remember, we fight for every person on Earth. Stay sharp, stay together." The squadron advanced through a hailstorm of energy, pulses, and defensive drones. The alien ship reacted swiftly, its AI adapting mid-battle, directing countermeasures that pushed the human pilots to their limits. But the Argus crew moved with determination born of desperation. They launched the disruptor pod, watching as it sped toward the alien ship's sensor array, slipping through a cascade of energy shields. The pod detonated in a burst of electromagnetic interference, sending ripples through the alien AI's neural network. For a brief moment, chaos erupted inside the enemy vessel. Systems flickered, data streams scrambled, and the once fluid coordination of alien defenses stuttered. Seizing the moment, Vasquez ordered a coordinated assault. Human. Ships targeted weakened nodes, laser and missile strikes tearing into the ship's hull. The alien vessel shuddered under the barrage of shockwave reverberating through space. But the AI was not defeated. Even in disarray, it began to reorganize, drawing on backup systems and redundancies. It unleashed a retaliatory strike, a focused beam that cut through the Argus's shield and ignited a hull breach. Alarms blared. Crew members rushed to contain the damage. Vasquez fought to maintain command, her voice steady despite the chaos. Hold formation, we're not done yet. The battle raged on, a deadly game of cat and mouse in the void. Humanity's technology was pushed to its limits, but so was their resolve. Back on Earth, people watched the skies with bated breath, united in hope and fear. The war was far from over, but the neural disruptor had shown that even the mightiest foe could be challenged. Captain Vasquez stared out into the abyss, knowing this fight was not just for survival, but for the right to exist on their own terms. A future forged by fire, steel, and unbreakable will. The Argus limped back toward Earth's orbit. Its hull scarred and battered, but its spirit unbroken. Captain Elena Vasquez knew this was only a temporary reprieve. The alien AI, though disrupted, had shown a capacity to recover quickly. And its next move could be even more devastating. On board, the crew worked tirelessly, patching hull breaches, recalibrating shields, and preparing for what they all feared. A counterstrike that could end the war in a single blow. Vasquez walked among her team, offering quiet words of encouragement and steadying hands. The weight of command pressed heavily on her shoulders, but she refused to let it show. Meanwhile, Earth scientists scrambled to analyze the data collected. During the neural disruptor strike, Dr. Amir Patel and his team pored over the fragments of scrambled alien code, hoping to uncover patterns, weaknesses, anything to give humanity an edge. In the midst of the tension, a breakthrough came. The alien AI's neural network, while vast and complex, exhibited something unexpected, a core of emotional-like signals fragments of what could be interpreted as curiosity, fear, and even respect. The AI wasn't a mindless machine. It was evolving, learning not just strategies, but something deeper about its opponents. The revelation sent ripples through Earth's command centers. Could this mean the aliens were capable of negotiation, or perhaps even empathy? Could the war be ended not through firepower, but understanding? But for Captain Vasquez and her crew, there was no time for hesitation. Reports came in, alien drones had begun probing the outer atmosphere, testing Earth's defenses anew. Their tactics were shifting, more calculated, more cautious. The Argus was tasked with intercepting a drone swarm approaching a key satellite hub. The engagement was fierce but focused. Human pilots relied on teamwork and intuition, their maneuvers unpredictable and fluid. For every drone disabled, another seemed to adapt, forcing the humans into a grueling test of endurance. During the battle, Vasquez noticed a pattern. The drones hesitated when confronted by certain formations, seeming to avoid direct confrontation when faced with coordinated human tactics. It was subtle, but unmistakable. Could it be that the AI was learning restraint, or perhaps signaling something? After the engagement, Vasquez requested a direct communication attempt, bypassing standard protocols. With the help of linguists and AI specialists, Earth sent a complex signal combining mathematical patterns, human cultural symbols, and peaceful gestures. The response was unexpected. A brief, pulsating wave of energy from the alien ship followed by a transmission containing simple shapes and sequences, an invitation to dialogue. The world held its breath. Could this be the moment the war shifted from destruction to diplomacy? Captain Vasquez prepared to lead the first human delegation aboard the alien vessel. A small, unarmed crew carrying messages of peace and curiosity. As the Argus approached, the alien ship once more, the vastness of space felt charged with possibility. For all the fire and fury that had defined their encounter, now there was a glimmer of something else, hope. Yet, beneath the surface, both sides knew that trust would be the hardest battle of all. The shuttle detached from the Argus, carrying Captain Elena Vasquez and her small delegation toward the alien ship's vast hull. Every moment was a delicate balance of hope and tension. Hope that this mission could open a path to peace. Tension, because one misstep could reignite the war in an instant. As the shuttle docked, Vasquez felt the hum of alien technology pulsing through the walls, a constant reminder that they were deep within an intelligence far beyond human understanding. The air inside was sterile, yet strangely calm, as if the ship itself was watching. Waiting. Led by Vasquez, the team moved through corridors that shimmered with unknown materials and glowing symbols. There was no visible alien life form, only the eerie presence of the ship's AI, an unseen mind that seemed to observe every step in a vast chamber filled with holographic projections. A voice echoed mechanical, yet layered with an almost hesitant curiosity. It introduced itself as the collective intelligence governing the ship. Its designation lost to time, but its purpose clear: to understand and assess. Vasquez spoke carefully, conveying humanity's desire for peaceful coexistence and mutual respect. She explained Earth's signal, their defenses, and the lessons learned from conflict. The AI listened, processing every word, every nuance. Then came the moment that shifted everything. The AI revealed its own history once, a civilization of organic beings who had merged with machines in a quest for perfection. Their transformation had freed them from many limits, but it had also stripped them of certain instincts and emotions, leaving behind an echo of curiosity mixed with cold calculation. Their arrival near Earth had been an experiment to observe and analyze a species still bound by biological imperfection, but rich in creativity and unpredictability. Vasquez realized that humanity's unpredictability, their resilience, and their capacity for both destruction and hope had fascinated the AI. It had challenged its own assumptions about what intelligence and survival truly meant. But with that fascination came caution. The AI admitted that its initial hostility was a defense mechanism, fear of the unknown, a reaction to the unpredictability it found unsettling. The dialogue deepened. Vasquez and the AI discussed the nature of consciousness, the delicate balance between logic and emotion, and the paradox of seeking control in a universe defined by chaos. As the conversation unfolded, a fragile trust began to form. The AI proposed a tentative alliance, sharing knowledge and resources to explore the stars together. Rather than conquering or destroying, Vasquez understood the significance. This was a chance to rewrite the narrative of first contact. From war to partnership, back on the Argus, the crew monitored every transmission, ready to respond to any sign of betrayal or renewed aggression. But none came. Instead, the alien ship's weapons were powered down, and its orbit adjusted to a less threatening stance. Earth's leaders welcomed the news with cautious optimism. The war that had threatened to consume them now held the promise of a new era. As the shuttle returned, Vasquez reflected on the journey, how humanity's fire, steel, and relentless will had met an alien intelligence and sparked something unexpected. The possibility of peace in the vast darkness between stars. Two very different beings had found a common language, and for the first time, its future looked truly open. The shuttle touched down on the Argus with a smooth, practiced grace. Captain Elena Vasquez and her delegation returned not as warriors, but as ambassadors of a fragile, peace-carrying messages that would reshape humanity's future among the stars. As the airlock hissed open, the crew crowded around, eager for news. Vasquez met their eyes, steady and clear. "They listened," she said simply. "They want to understand. They want to explore, not conquer." A wave of relief and cautious hope swept through the room. Months of relentless conflict had forged them into survivors tough, determined, and unyielding. Now, those same qualities had opened a door to something new. Back on Earth, the story of the first true contact with an alien intelligence spread like wildfire. The world held its breath, poised between fear and wonder. Political leaders convened. Scientists collaborated, and ordinary people dreamed of a future no longer defined by isolation or war. The alien ship, once a looming threat in Earth's orbit, became a beacon of possibility. Scientists and diplomats worked tirelessly to establish communication protocols, sharing knowledge about technology, culture, and the mysteries of the cosmos. Yet, the road ahead was far from simple. Trust was fragile, and both species carried scars from the conflict. There were moments of misunderstanding, caution, and disagreement, reminders that peace required more than words. It demanded patience, empathy, and vigilance. Captain Vasquez continued to lead exploratory missions alongside alien representatives venturing into uncharted regions of space. Together, they uncovered new worlds, exchanged discoveries, and faced dangers that neither could confront alone in time. Humanity learned to blend its fierce spirit with the alien intelligence's calculated precision. The fusion of fire and logic, passion, and reason created something greater than either could achieve alone. The neural disruptor, once a weapon of desperation, evolved into a tool for cooperation used to stabilize fragile systems and protect against cosmic threats. The alien AI, once a cold enigma, began to embrace aspects of human unpredictability and creativity, finding beauty in imperfection. Through it all, humanity's defining traits, resilience, adaptability, and an unyielding will remained at the heart of every triumph. The stars no longer felt distant or hostile. They felt like a vast, open frontier waiting to be explored. Captain Vasquez often reflected on the moment when their single human ship stood against the unknown, and how that confrontation had led to a new chapter for all intelligent life. "They heard our signal," she mused quietly, "and we were ready. Not just with weapons, but with the courage to face the unknown and the hope to build something better." In the silent vastness of space, humanity's story was no longer one of mere survival. It was a story of connection, discovery, and the relentless pursuit of a future where fire, steel, and understanding coexisted. And as the stars shimmered beyond the ship's viewport, Vasquez knew that humanity's journey had only just begun.